This is it. One last game.
Last one.
How fast this NFL season goes, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's crazy. How fast does the year go? We're already in February.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna pull a Stephen A. Jones, and instead of bashing and dogging the Cowboys, I was, how about them Bears? Yeah, buddy. Yeah, let me just go there. So let me make a suggestion to all you Bear fans out there. Use mothballs when you hang that stuff back up in your closet. So you don't want the moths eating your jerseys, and who knows when the next time you guys will get to put them on, celebrate such a decent season that y'all had. You're kind of probably going to be like I don't know what's them bands called, one hit wonders. There you go, one hit wonder.
Not gonna happen.
I know I've heard that from everybody. I got to tell you though, it's ironic. When you buy a certain model car and you drive around, you start seeing that car everywhere. Well,
Yeah.
there's one. There's one that's so ever since I started bashing the Bears, you busting your balls, I've seen more Bears bullshit. I told you this before, not just people wearing their stuff, some of them still with the tags on them, but I'm driving around twice yesterday, car in front of me, Chicago Bears license plate frames. Two different times. Of course, I go to see one of my physicians yesterday, which you met, one of my doctors. He's a Bears fan. And of course, I have a few moments when he's done with me to rub it in. And of course, his comeback is as most people. Well, we made the playoffs. We went further than you. I said, yeah, I sent my buddy a participation trophy. I guess that's all you guys want. It's just trophies for participation. But anyway, that's my Stephen A. Jones moment.
Super Bowl
For
next year, man.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. We've already had this discussion
Yep.
on and off the camera.
I'm telling you.
You know, but I've already said it. I'm out there that I believe Caleb Williams has got the potential to be a good quarterback, an outstanding quarterback. I really do. He's already a good quarterback. He's got the potential to be a great quarterback if they keep the talent around him.
Yeah.
If truly it was not just, you know, 1 year, one hit wonder with Ben Johnson, but who knows? I guess time will tell. Time will tell. Just like the Cowboys. Shoddy going to have a great year next year. Now they got a new DC, and they're making some serious coordinator changes and coaching changes that needs to be done. I'm not
Yeah.
one of them bandwagon guys that's going to go, we're going to the Super Bowl. But if we'd had a defense last year, I believe they'd have went further than they did. How
Yeah.
far, I don't know.
The number one offense? Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
But with what's going on now, we got the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. And, it's just, I never would have pictured the Patriots beating the Broncos.
Yeah.
I just didn't see it happening. But when Bo Nix went out, it changed the dynamics of the game.
It
And
did.
Stidham did okay. Matter of fact, if you look at that game, Stidham's fumble was the touchdown. That's the points they scored offensively. I believe it was his
And a
fumble.
field goal.
He fumbled the ball, and that led to their first score of the game. Denver was pretty much shutting them out.
Yeah. So you take the points, man. You
Yeah,
Denver had the chance to hit the field goal,
yep.
and they didn't. So you always take the points. I mean, who doesn't take points? Like, you know what I mean? Like, take the points. It doesn't make any sense, man, especially in the
None.
playoffs.
I'm reading about it. Prior to Stedham's fumble, that unfortunate fumble, New England had only gained 67 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
And, they opened up with the second half with a great almost 10-minute drive, 9.5-minute drive or whatever New England did. But Denver's defense did their job pretty much in that game. Um, just So with that said, that what I'm leading up to is obviously the Super Bowl, and Seattle, they just all around by far a strong team. You know, they just he he has led this team to a great season in Seattle, and I'm talking about Sam Darnold, and he did the same thing in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And Minnesota's got to be kicking themselves in the butt right now for letting him go.
Yep.
So,
I know I
I
would be.
do, and I believe if, the Bears would have got there, I believe Seattle would have dominated that game against them too.
I think so too, to be honest with you. I mean, of course, the Bears had their horseshoe, so they coulda came out and used it. But I think Seattle would have won. I mean, they're just so damn good, man. And here's the thing, like, this season was for them to just be good. Next year was when they were actually eyeing the Super Bowl. So they're a year ahead and they've got the team on board, fully committed, and they're gonna be pretty damn strong for the next few years.
Yep, I agree. I had predicted Seattle and Denver, but I honestly, as the year went on, and I did that earlier in the year, but as the year went on, the season went on, I thought the Rams. I thought, wow, they are the number one team at one point. Stafford, them boys are playing good football, and to blow that game, lose that game that I didn't see that coming. Um, I really thought there as time went on that the Rams could be the ones in the Super Bowl, and sure enough, it didn't work out that way. But with that said, this game I think is going to be a good game. Uh, Seattle is going in at a 4.5 point favorite. I
Yep.
think the total's like 45 or 46, something like that. And I've got my prediction and the bets I'm going to make. I was really disappointed because I did have a little bet that I had placed earlier in the year that it would be Seattle and Denver in the Super Bowl, and I was 4 points away from that. So that kind of sucks. Bo Nix went down. I kind of knew I was in trouble, but I did say it on here, and that Stedham, I said he had a strong arm, and I knew he did. I knew he was capable, but he was turnover prone.
Yeah.
This guy, we talked about it, was in line to take Brady's job, the backup to take Brady's place with New England. And for not playing in a game since 2023, overall, he played pretty decent. He just made a couple of costly errors that cost them. You know, I don't think that's going to put everything on his shoulder. That's why they lost that game, but it sure had a big impact on the outcome of that game. But I say that the guy has still got it. He's got potential. Obviously, I don't know if he'll stay in Denver and be a backup next year, or if he'll jump ship or not. I would think that he might have an opportunity to go somewhere, or maybe he's done. I don't know, but I wasn't that disappointed in him. I think he did a pretty good job. I'm more disappointed in Sean Payton. He continued to coach like Bo Nix was still in that game. Like you said, he should have took that early field goal. Why do
That's
you?
what happened. Look at that
Yeah, of
last
course.
snow, dude.
Yeah. Why do you risk it with a backup quarterback? Take the points.
Yep.
Take the points in a game like that, especially when you're handicapped. Speaking of handicap, going into the New England game, Super Bowl game, New England's got some offensive line issues. They got some issues with players hurt on the offensive line. Um, that could be a big factor because they're fast. Them players are fast on that defensive line. And with that said, I'm ready to make my picks.
Yeah, and you know, hurt or not, I think Seattle's defense is better than New England's, my
Yeah,
opinion. I mean,
yeah,
New England's defense is good, but Seattle just seems like you
yeah.
said, they're fast.
I agree. There is I'm trying to see let's see. I thought I had the lineup so I could see. Yeah, it's 4.5 still and 45.5 now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I know at one point it moved up to 5, I think. And
Yeah,
then
it
back
started out
down.
at 3.5.
Yeah, so yeah, so the line moved and then it moved back down. That means that some late money came in on New England, enough apparently to move the line back down. Um, so with that, said, I am ready to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some strategic picks
Okay.
because I believe New England has a chance to keep it semi close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I know you may disagree. I don't know what your thoughts are, but in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Seahawks on the money line, and I'm going to take New England +5. And I'm going to hope that Seattle wins that game. Obviously, I want them to win it, but I'm hoping it stays 5 or less. I'm not going to bet as heavy on the New England side as I am on the money line side because I think Seattle wins this game without question. And I am going to say that their defense, as we talked about, is pretty strong. And I'm going to go under. I'm going to take it under 46. So, and I will parlay Seattle money line and under. And I may parlay just to do it Seattle minus the points and under. And then I may do another parlay with New England plus the points and under. So I'm leaning heavy on the under, and I'm leaning on Seattle to win this game. But I'm also thinking New England has a chance to cover. So I'm going to put a little bet there, kind of hedge myself, um, and see what happens. And I've done this in the past many years ago, and people go, "Well, why do you do that?" And I've won all of them. So it's potential that I could sweep the board with all of these bets. I'm not telling anybody else to do that. I'm not telling you how much to bet. Again, I'm going to go heavier on Seattle and the under than I am New England and the under. But I'm going to do it's the last game of the year, man. And I may probably look at some props, and there was some other prop bets out here that I was looking at, like Smith Najigba
Hmm.
under 95 yards. That's, you know, when I Diggs over 44 and a half receiving yards, but I think he still will have a good game, probably 100 plus yards. Honestly, I don't think he's out of reach for Diggs, but it depends on what that defense does to May. But I tell you
Yeah.
what, I do like Sam Darnold over 1.5 touchdowns passes. So
Yeah.
I'm going to bet some props. I don't know which ones exactly. There's so many of them, but I'm going to bet some props as well. How about you? How are you looking at this game?
So I'm with you. I think Seattle's gonna win. The crazy thing is that I was listening to the sports radio and there was a dealer that got on a call and said that everyone is trying to win some money so they can get free money. And they were like, "What do you mean free money?" Like they're trying to win at the tables so they can go bet on Seattle. And so this guy's like, the way Vegas plays it, Vegas never loses. So he actually thinks that New England will cover the spread. Um, but I don't think they will. I'm New England. I'm Seattle -4.5, and I'm with you. I'm going under 46 just because the teams that they played to get to the Super Bowl, they've kept them pretty low in points. And yes, they both have offense, but they both have defense. And I think it's not gonna be a boring game, but I think it's gonna be a low scoring tops 35 total points is how I see it. So those are my picks. Seattle 4.5, -4.5, and under 46. Vegas wants to win. They're gonna go New England and over.
And that's, like I said, the money has moved the line because it went from 4.5 to like 5.5, I think at one point. I'm not sure, but back down. So when the line moves up, obviously the money's moving it. That means money came in on New England. And again, I think Seattle wins it. But I'm not going to be surprised if it's a 3 or 4 point game at
Right.
all.
Yep.
But, with that said, you know, I'll be turning it off at the end of the second quarter and I'll turn it back on at the beginning of the third quarter. You know, America's team, America's sport, and I'm not going to badmouth Bad Bunny, but I just don't think that's the proper form for him to be performing in with all the division and everything going on in the country. I think we should have did something that would have worked to try to bring people together and not divide people. And I got a feeling that show is going to work towards dividing people. And I'm not saying deporting people is right. Obviously, I do agree with getting, the bad element out of this country. I don't care if you're American or not American. I think you should, justice should prevail. So, anyway, I'm not a fan of that. I won't be watching the Super Bowl halftime.
I didn't even know who he was till like
I didn't
last
either.
week.
I'm gonna tell you right
Never even
now.
heard of him. Never even heard his
Me
music.
neither.
Nothing. But I did
Spanish.
say
Yeah,
I will watch the halftime show just to see what
yeah.
he's
Well,
about. Like I'm a
I
'90s guy. Like my thing was old
yeah,
school rap '90s,
yeah.
alternative rock, all of it.
I'll watch the
I don't
turn.
know these guys.
I'm gonna watch the Turning Point USA halftime with Kid Rock and a bunch of other rocking, American artists, American loving artists, I should say. The best halftime performance that I can recall, in my opinion, was Prince. Prince
Yeah,
put on a
buddy.
performance, man, that was out of this world.
Yep.
So those days are gone. Those days are gone. I'm like you though. I'm an 80s, 90s kind of guy. But anyway,
I call it good music back then.
yeah. Yeah. So anyway, with that, end of the NFL season, we'll have to come up with some new just talking points,
Yep.
when we come back on, probably a week or two. We'll get together and figure something out. But again, it'll be non-scripted, just talking. And I'm going to put it out there right now. Some people are going to like what I have to say, and some people aren't. Some of it could be political, some of it could be religion, some of it could be just bullshit.
Well,
Uh,
that's the greatest thing about America.
yeah,
You can say something,
yep,
I may not like it, right? But I'm not gonna hate you
exactly.
or cuss at you or tell you you're wrong and I'm right because then what's the point of having conversations?
100% agree. Heated, let me say, vigorous debate should be acceptable to stop that. And I don't care, who you like, who you support, that's your right. I'm not going to get mad at you about it. I'm not going to dog you about it. Well, I can't say I won't dog you about it because I probably will, but that's my right. But it'll be respectful.
Right.
At the same time, I will respect you and you can respect me or you can go fuck yourself. It's that simple. So, if you wanted any cleaner than that, you know, you need to probably go to another site because we don't sugarcoat shit on this site.
Right.
So, anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to do in the next few weeks. I'm looking forward to hopefully us having a good Super Bowl. I wish everybody a great Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday.
Yep. Yep.
I'm going to
Pull
say
up
it,
the
go
grill.
Seahawks. I want the Seahawks to win it. I'd
Me
like to see
too.
Sam Darnold win it.
Yeah. Then maybe, people, the critics will shut their mouths then.
Yeah, and I don't, New England's got enough rings. So, all right, man. What else?
That's it.
All right. Well, with that said, everybody, bet at your own risk. Have fun. Peace out.
Peace out.